do is approve and assign the minutes.
Make a motion to approve and sign minutes.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Next thing is the warrants.
Motion to approve and sign warrant.
And I second it. Okay, quickly, D, that's just done. The one on the fire truck. They're about 2 months behind on delivery on that, so. So we'll see if it'll shake them up at all.
Yeah. They put another 2 months.
Probably the end of August.
Wow.
You guys want to vote on this?
Yeah, well, we'll, send them a letter to Greenwood. For the delivery of a fire truck.
Danielle, did you update who came in tonight?
He just texted me, so.
It's surprising, usually.
Yeah, he was saying that too.
Yep, he's gonna have to come in, cause he wanted a signature block on it, and.
Man, this is pretty good.
Probably. I know trucks are hard to get right now.
Yeah.
This one supposedly is being painted right now too, so.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this third thing is review the special town meeting warrant. I guess that's in Shaw's, yeah, we gotta sign that.
Yeah. Make a motion to sign special town meeting warrant. Second. Below or after?
Below, sorry, I had to take the lines out, so. Alright.
On the old business, we get some quotes on some cameras. They're ranging from 5,000, 7,300 to 24,000.
Wow.
The 5,001 is not apples to apples with the others, because he's quoting less cameras, and I called him and asked him to revise it, and he never sent it to me. So it is also made out to the town of Buxton. I wanted to make sure we got the right quote, so.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like he really needs the work. So the 7,300 one is recommended, that company's recommended by our IT guy. Works pretty closely with him, and he was very helpful on figuring out what we needed. Less cameras, better quality.
Is this guy gonna get back with another quote? The first guy?
I've called and left messages, I don't know. I can keep hounding him.
Is there any kind of like service contract we're gonna have with them or anything like that?
Nope, we would be monitoring it here like we used to do with the old town office. It would be a DVR, and it would live kind of in our closet with a screen, and we would have remote access to all our computers like we do now, but it's all gonna be hardwired. So we're not gonna have any delays like we do. There's not gonna be any abnormalities or quirks. Like, didn't catch a couple meetings because from formatting the card to the meeting time, something happened. I don't know if we lost power but we had an issue with the SD card. Didn't catch any of the meeting because something happened to the card. On my phone it says abnormality detected, and I have to reformat the whole card, and I lose the whole thing on all the meetings on the card or any of the activities. So it's becoming a hassle.
We kinda got what we paid for, huh?
It was a good deal at the time. It was better than nothing,
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I think it was a good deal to have. I think it put us in the right direction. It's been a good addition to the building.
Okay.
It's proven it's worked in a couple of instances.
Yeah.
You know, with the sheriff's department and stuff.
Yeah.
It's giving them ID that they needed to have. Those two guys that was driving around, that was going wrong over South Highland, had them right on ID right on it. They was trying to figure out how our cameras work, and they stood right under the camera all the time, so that when the sheriffs got here, they had perfect ID. So.
He also quoted us in a camera for additional, coverage over where the kids are. And the playground, which would be all covered with a round camera, and the outside camera that can actually zoom in and get license plates if we had an issue. That card could be all the way over there, and you can just zoom in on the computer and you can read the license plate, so.
I think when we kids here, I think it's very necessary that we do that something.
We're everywhere, so.
Yeah.
Put this on. Now, you've been shopping around for quotes, you've only got these three.
I got the three. The only person that I haven't able to get a hold of is Tyco. That's the one that's doing the garage. So we can get a quote from Tyco. I can get one from ABC that used to do the old office. If you wanna keep ranging it out, I mean, we can get a couple more quotes if you wanna keep shopping around. But basically the system is, you know, that's how it's gonna be. It's gonna be a wired to a DVR. That's what they're all quoting. The $25,000 one, she was looking at the wiring and stuff. The other ones didn't really bat an eyelash on it, and just it's included. So I don't know. I can keep getting quotes if you want. It's you.
You guys, I don't think it hurt to get a couple more.
Yeah, I think we're going to, you know,
Just
kind of compare them. Yeah.
Sandport, did you get Sandport complaints today?
Yep, this afternoon someone called. There was a bunch of children running around naked. A parent called very, very upset because their young child was watching these children run around naked, and claimed that the attendant was aware of it, wasn't doing anything about it, so she was extremely upset and that ended up having to leave the beach. So.
That's the only complaint you got today?
Today.
Nothing else in the last 2-3 days?
No. We did actually take that back. Someone did come in personally, talk about other things, but there was a bunch of dogs on the beach while they were there. And I guess that was it. It was mainly the dogs. They were on kayaks and trying to beach, but the dog was like leaping on its chain, and they kind of had an altercation. But
I would agree to step up enforcement over there. We have a lot of complaints and nothing's being. When it goes out, when it's blocked with. We had to go to London today to get some milk this afternoon, and down the river was moving today. And the parking lot was filled right up, there's up in the church in the parking. There's still a lot of non-residents going over there too.
Mm-hmm.
We talked to Rusty about talking to the people as they come in and stuff, so Rusty's been here tonight, so he can have something to stand up on too. And we'll work with Rusty a little bit more and see what we can do. That's all I got, old business. You guys got anything? The community center update. That program's still going good, as you can see.
How many kids in there?
Today there was 14.
14?
14. Yep. She's been in the high 20s before, so it depends on the day. It's not consistent every day.
Yeah, good.
And the meal thing went off okay today?
So, yeah,
Their lunch too, they was all set for that?
Yep. We are advertising a little harder now that she's got her feet wet and get our system rolling, so she's a little more comfortable, and now we kind of really put it out there. We got it on the board, we sent it to the shopper's guide, and we kind of flooded it on Facebook. So if we can get the numbers up, we'll get reimbursed more. But we got a $2,000 grant towards the program, and we also got a check for $3,600 for the month of July. That offsets our Ashley's costs, her wages and time, and the expenses. So that's pretty good.
We're ahead right now.
Yep. And in addition, we get reimbursed. So.
Well, I think the important thing too, you got kids that are getting fed and stuff, you know, getting exercise and everything else, so. That's the last thing I had here. Town office is closed the 4th and 5th. Just so everybody knows that over the holidays. You guys got anything? Nothing at all? This will take it in the audience, so Joe.
Yeah, I got a few things. Sand Pond Road, upkeep. The culverts are kind of, you go over them, bounce up and down, and they're shaped like this, and, you know, they're not working real well. You know, that's one side of it is, if the town wants to have Sand Pond Road, then I think the town should keep it up. If, however, you'd like to give up all public rights to Sand Pond Road, then I think my sister and I would entertain that. You know, if you wanted to give up all your public rights from where our land starts on both sides of the road to where our land ends on both sides of the road.
How far up do you go?
Well, there's 2 red spots on trees. It's a couple miles.
Do you own up to the houses?
No.
Back this side of it?
Yeah.
Back this side of the little winding hill thing?
Yeah, I guess that would be right. When you start hitting the thick young woods,
Yeah.
that's not us.
Okay.
I mean, so, you know, I'm just saying one way or the other, but what's going on right now is like, I'm gonna be logging off that 610 acres that I own. And, you know, and then you guys are gonna say, well, you mocked up the road when you logged it, you know. And so I'm like, I don't know, we generally log over there in the winter because of the road.
Because it's frozen.
Yeah, and everything goes better, you know. But I owe money on that, so I'm gonna log it, and I just kind of would like to open the conversation with the selectmen about that. That's all. That's all I'm doing. Guys, think about it.
I was up there a couple of weeks ago, and you're right, and I didn't think too many people traveled up there, so I didn't really push it.
So if we give up public rights, then, you know, I'll want to think about how I'd want to see it done, you know. I mean, I think it's a conversation, whatever happens. That's all. What was the special town meeting? What's the special town meeting about?
We got the articles. See if the town will vote to transfer $60,000 from the fund balance to the contingent account. And one thing we did last year, out of the contingent account, we cut that pretty close, trying to keep taxes and stuff down. But we paid $25,000 for assessing fees out of that contingent account. That hurt us. So looking at, we worked with Debbie and looking at where we're at, how much money we've spent. We know there's $15,000 of more coming out of that, that's gonna leave us $45,000. She thinks that's more than ample enough to take us through the end of the year. So that's why we've asked for the $60,000.
It just, you know, something goes on up there and it's all like a big secret from out here, you know. And I just wondered what it was, that was all. And then the event policy.
Yeah, well, let me finish this here, there's two more articles here.
Oh,
too,
okay.
See if the town will vote to authorize expenditure of $30,000 for town equipment account to spend on a new stainless steel body and sander combination for the public works department. Now, the international truck they want to put the body on is 10 years old, and the body is all rotted out. So, they found a stainless steel one, there's two of them that are left. And, you know, the $25,000, $5,000 to transfer them over and stuff like that, so that's how you get that. Then the last one is, to see if the town will vote to transfer $10,000 from the fund balance account to the town fire truck maintenance account, which includes $5,000 for the purpose of emergency repairs and $5,000 for the purchase of the Jaws of Life. So what he's done here, last year we voted to put $10,000 in the fire truck maintenance account. He had a pump freeze up this winter, cost $7,200. We had to pay. So that cut him short, stuff like that. And then the other $3,000, he's found that there's two sets that demonstrate the Jaws of Life. They're $30,000. But we can get them for $30,000. But it's $5,000 down, then it's so much a month, or so much a year, for so many years to pay the rest of it off, which he'll be taking out of his $20,000 per station. It's around $6,000 a year to do that and stuff. So but them Jaws of Life, now I didn't realize this the other day, and I should have. They're 30 years old.
Wow.
They don't get used every day, but you know,
You need them when you need them.
you do. And it struck me kind of funny, but I remember Lester Wood going around, you know, getting money, you know, going around businesses and stuff and see if they'd donate money and stuff like that. Lester died about 4 months in front of my father. My father died in 2000. June was 2000. So that's how long it's been. And one thing, they do training and stuff over to CIA over in Limerick. And our jaws that we got now with some of these new cars won't cut into the door hinges and stuff. They don't have power, because they're using different steels and stuff now. The steels are getting tougher and stuff. So this is what Jason's up against. So that's why he asked if he could put something in on that. So it's up to the people now.
That's it, the engine will start.
Yeah.
That engine starts.
But the new equipment's all battery operated.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm
Battery
ready
operated.
to raise money on that too. Definitely, yeah.
Well, that's a special town meeting.
Thank you. Now, the event policy.
We can't use it.
Yeah.
I just got off the phone tonight with David Laurie. It's too bland. It isn't stiff enough. And he considered that under the First Amendment rights, it could be unconstitutional. So we kind of got to back away from that. Well, he's on vacation right now. When I was talking with him up in Vermont, David he's pretty soft spoken. It's hard to hear. I don't hear that well on the phone anyways, but he's hard to hear. So he's going to put some stuff down and write and stuff, and then we'll have to rework it.
So I am of the opinion that what you're looking at is a revision of the land use ordinance. And because it's a revision of the land use ordinance, it's not a policy. It's an ordinance, and it needs to go to public hearing, and it needs to go to town meeting. And it probably needs to go past the planning board. I mean, just to be legal, just a process to be legal.
I think that's and they said too, right?
Yeah, and then they've said so much stuff. There's a home rule policy. You can argue against that, but there's too many holes in it. You know, there's too many ways it could be shot down. So I'd like to get David's. Right now, we're not using it.
Okay.
So I'd like to get David's input and then, you know, get it in writing and see what he says and then go from there on it. Today I've looked at, what I tell you, what Hebron's got one, Sebago's got one, Wyndham has got a small one. The one that Sebago was very detailed, I was surprised at the stuff that's in there and stuff, so. Hebron, you can have 300 people in Hebron before it even, you can let that many people in before it even gets reenacted and stuff, so, or enacted.
So I guess, Dwight, what I'm talking about is Baldwin ordinances. You know, other towns may have other ways of operating their land use ordinance.
Yeah, they do.
You know, and so that's what I'm going back to.
Yeah.
Is these are our ordinances, we have to follow our ordinances.
Yeah, well, you made a point with me the other night, and one thing I picked up on stuff, on some of your CUPs, you've got some stuff wrote in there already that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you wanna step up on this a little bit too, so you know more about this than I do. So,
Or what part?
on this,
The policy that we tried to enact is basically following Cornish's, because it was a neighboring town.
We aren't Cornish.
No.
And we have a different ordinance. I don't know what their land use ordinance says. But you can't amend an ordinance with a policy.
The policy was just making it transparent. Like if somebody wanted to, you can shake your head, I won't bother speaking to you. If you want to hear what I say, that's fine.
I'm listening,
That's fine.
I'm listening, Gary.
The policy was just transparency. If somebody wanted to come to the town and use private property, it was just a way for the town to monitor what was being done. Without a policy, people can come on private property basically and do what they want, to an extent.
So, Gary, a policy is how you implement an ordinance. Policy is not an ordinance. So you can be as transparent as you want to be, but if you're illegal, you're transparently illegal.
I think a mass gathering ordinance is something we're thinking of. A lot of towns have them, like you said. But I think the best way to do it is to go through a process, you know, where there's public input, public hearing, that kind of thing. Because people are gonna come up with ideas about what works best, what doesn't. For example, the churches, do we need to include the churches? I mean, this says 50 people. Some of the churches have more than 50 people at certain services. Do they have to get a event application each time? I mean, there's all kinds of things that I think would be benefited by public hearing, get everybody's input, and then pass it as an ordinance, you know, an actual law of the town. Because I do think that it's a problem as a policy, because a policy is not a law of the town, it's not passed by the legislative body at town meeting. And to the extent it wants to, that ordinance would change the land use ordinance anyway, it definitely would need to be an ordinance. Because the land use ordinance can only be changed by a town meeting, whether it's a regular town meeting or a special town meeting. So I think it's well worth exploring.
well, that's why we talked about it overnight tonight, and we kind of put brakes on, you know, because there's some stuff come out that went over us.
Yeah.
So maybe we got mud on our face just so might, maybe we don't. But it's just, I think we ought to look at it a little bit more before we jump.
Yeah, so why, you contacted Dave Lawrence to make sure that everything was up and up.
We contacted MMA and Dave Lawrence, we contacted them both and stuff. And to be damned honest with you, they both give us some wishy-washy information.
Yeah.
You know, just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's well worth thinking about and putting before the public hearing process.
You said that once before at a planning board, you know, we might be due to have something like that.
Absolutely.
But, you know, like I told you the other night and stuff, lad, over in Cornish, they had those 400 motorcycles come to the fairgrounds.
Right.
You know, what would happen if we had 400 motorcycles come to the whistle stop all at once?
Exactly.
You know, it'd be up to them to have a right to do that and everything. But geez, it would be kind of nice if you knew it was gonna take, so you could plan for
Right.
the fire department, the ambulance,
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah. I think the concept's a good concept.
I'm in total agreement. I'm really concerned about the process. That's my total concern. The process was wrong. I mean, I think it's got to be transparent. You gotta talk to people of the town, ask the people of the town what they want. I find, when you go in front of a bunch of people, there may be ideas that I never thought of. I'm not as smart as 30, 40, 100 people. You know, you get ideas and things you ought to include. Or get rid of. You know, people come up with ideas when you go to a public hearing. And I think that's where this fell short. I'd appreciate it if I could ask for the policy to be taken down from the town website, if you weren't going to use it.
You can do that, can't you?
It was just on the outcome of this meeting, so, yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Wait, you know, if we've got egg on our face,
Oh, please,
we've got egg on our face, I mean. You know.
I don't mean to put egg on your face.
No, I mean.
No, not at all.
But if we made a mistake, we want to correct it. And if, you know, if we've got some good ideas and stuff, we'd like to see them utilized. So, I mean, if one hand's gonna wash the other, it'd be fair and everything, so.
No, there's also, you know, good opportunities too for somebody, say something like the motorcycle thing, and they show up down the whistle stop, there's a lot of business for the whistle stop.
Yeah, exactly.
And gas, people, you know, they come up with gas and stuff, so I think that eventually would be a good opportunity to have events like that.
Car shows in town.
Yeah,
From town,
yeah.
car shows. We don't have anything like that here.
No.
It'd be a good idea to have one.
You got plenty of space and stuff.
Can I just say something? That is okay to do here. We did talk about events here. This is town-owned property. That's where the selectmen would vote on an event on town-owned property. That can happen. It's the private property thing that was,
Tread on our
okay.
constitutional.
like David said, we can't tell anyone what they can or cannot do on private property, as far as events go.
So that's where we're at with that right now.
Thank you.
So, now what's your third?
That was my third thing.
Yeah, that was the third thing?
The third thing.
I think it's limited to.
Sand Pond Road, event policy, and, what was the special town meeting about? Those are my three things.
Okay.
Thank you.
Put this in my notes. Correct?
All set, I just wanted to talk about the process for the event thing, so it sounds like we're starting along that line. That's good.
Kathleen?
I was just concerned about, summer camp programs and the food program, making sure everything's going good with that.
Oh, can I just kind of butt in there? Debbie just gave me the numbers, if you guys wanna report this. This is what they brought in. This is what's been paid out, what we were hoping, that's what we're up on, that's what we've been.
Wow. So that's $7,000 we talked about today, pretty close. It was $6,957.70 to the good, right now.
Okay.
There's a couple issues. There's always a couple issues. There's a couple that haven't paid yet. There's a couple that are state funded, and the state drags that.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
got it.
late.
Yep.
So we're a little bit behind on that, but I think that'll come and stuff. I haven't seen anything go 100% smooth the first time you started around and stuff, you know, so.
It's a great use of the building.
Well, it's good to see kids and hear kids out here
Oh,
use
yeah.
the building and stuff, you
Yeah,
know.
and it's a great use of the building, we got the space, and it's good, some of these kids might be home alone without any supervision, so it's good. Good
Well, I
place,
think you gotta look at it too, the kids have benefit from it too.
sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
These guys know I'm an advocate of breakfast for kids and dinner for kids.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'd stick my neck on the line if I had to, you know, to have something in a special town meeting or a town meeting and stuff to support some of this stuff and everything, but there's a lot of other stuff out there that can pay its way as it goes and stuff, and without putting more burden on the town.
Right.
You know, but I think it's important to take care of these kids.
It is, but this is a sticky wicket, because there's a lot of parents that aren't parents. And they take advantage of their children, and those backpacks that went home got cherry picked by the parents. and the residual was given to the kids.
And that's
And
all.
it's usually the oldest sibling that winds up cooking for the younger ones. And sometimes that's just a peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah.
And it's desperate, but these parents have all kinds of ignorance and pride, and they don't know how to help themselves. They certainly don't know how to help their kids.
No.
And so there's a lot of pushback. So even with the food program here, there's a lot of parents that send food, and they said, no, we don't want any of your food, you eat the food that we send. Now, some of it's for dietary restrictions, and others is out of ignorance. So that's kind of one of the things they're still up against.
You know,
There's no easy ones on that one.
no. I know you guys talked to Glenn and Norma and stuff about the food pantry and stuff down there. The one thing that I see is, you know, I work there every Tuesday on the food pantry. I hate to say it, it looks to me like there's a lot of people that can't cook.
Yes.
They don't, they're getting the stuff. They're getting potatoes, they're getting onions, they're getting macaroni, they're getting meat.
Right.
As a meal right there.
Yeah.
You know, but they don't know how to put it together.
Yeah.
They don't know how to use a stove. So.
Yeah.
My wife.
Look at me, I work just.
Cameras.
Oh, yeah. Eddie Crockett said that.
Oh, it's definitely working. Yep, this time it is.
You cut that out.
I had another guy ask me today, you know, if they was interested in any fresh vegetables. So that might be something they're gonna be working on right off quick too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
There's a lot of avenues out there, you just gotta find the right button to push, you know?
Yep, and volunteers to fuel it.
Yeah.
You know, several people had wanted to volunteer, but then things happened and they just sort of, health-wise, couldn't do it anymore. You know, so it's like, okay, those people have just sort of fallen by the wayside. I'm still trying to muster more people in to be involved. Anything I can do.
You know, and we see that, not just in that, but it seems to every organization you got.
Yeah.
The fire department right now seems to be going great guns.
Yeah.
You notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But most other organizations, the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and stuff like this, struggling.
And other towns have serious problems with the fire departments. There's just an article in the paper about a week ago. Holland, New Gloucester, and Gray, you don't have enough people showing up for fires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're very lucky that we're still
And they
an
got-
active group.
They got an expensive budget, that town's down there.
Yeah.
Very expensive. Taffy?
Actually, I just came because I hadn't come in a while and I was a little concerned about the policy thing because obviously I'm living on Senator Black Road and like
That have to do with policy, it's not just for Senator Black Road, it's for the town.
I understand that, Gary. I also think it might be a conflict that when you're putting through policies like that you're on the board, but it's benefiting mostly your business there. But that's not, I didn't come to be negative at all. I came to be supportive because I know that it's a very tough job to be select people.
I don't know who you are.
I'm Marion Gillan, I live on Senator Black too. I just came to bring Kathy a chocolate milkshake.
Which
Oh,
was appreciated.
Where's ours?
I know.
Whistle to whistle stop.
That's like sweetie, that's good.
So I just had one thing, the kitchen's getting audited on July 10th by the state, just to make sure everything's up to snuff for the food program. So there's an inspection.
No, it's the second time, right? They've been in here once before already.
Yep, and before we even started.
Yeah.
So this is actually in, while we're in process, thank you.
Do you know if Ashley, she serves a,
She is, I just printed off her 2 certificates, I have to,
hang those up?
yep. And
So
then
she'll know about temperatures and stuff like that.
oh yeah, she's
Yeah.
she's great, yep.
Now, what about the serving table?
It's all taken care
Well
of.
then,
Everybody and
Yeah.
set it up for her, good.
Costs us $200 to run another 20 amp circuit over there. No, I call that fairly decent.
that was for the, part of the $2,000 grant for purposes like that to be able to support this program.
Yeah.
I have one other question, and that's the closet that's in there. Is there any way to get that finished? It has exposed concrete in the back, 1 foot by the whole length of the closet. And, I swept it out the other day when I was in there talking with Ashley, and it's not in really great repair. And that might be a thing that would get us, canceled from the program, having exposed concrete dust. So it's something you.
Ashley saw the closet and she didn't think it was an issue, and Paul Thomas is working pretty hard on the Chadbourne house right now, so he's the one that's doing the work, so I'm sure he'll get to it as soon as he can.
We'll have to play it by ear. The worst we do is get rolled up on it or something, and then
That's true,
show them the tracks.
that's true.
They've seen it once already and they had an inspection, it was fine, so I think if it was a real issue, they would have pointed it out at that point.
They give you probably like 30 days to fix it.
Or less.
No, last year. Give you one. Like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I've been there. What I find with them guys is they'll give you the 30 days, but do it.
Yeah.
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 Get it done.
Right.
No, I think sometimes I walk in and I look in the room where the kids are all in line, and it's just a disaster. You know, but at the end of the day, they seem to pick everything up, bring everything
They
together.
do.
You know, so I wonder, but then today when I was up here, at, what I leave here, about 10 minutes to 12, and I see on the camera, you're watching all those little kids sitting there eating their lunch. You know, that's what it's about.
It is.
You know, so. You guys got anything more?
Okay.
Is any more here?
No.
All set?
All right. Well, like I told you, last week was a rough week, but tonight some things have smoothed out.
Good.
You know, there is light at the end of the tunnel and stuff.
Yeah, good.
And it's not a train.
Yeah.
Can I just say something? Something I really realized, I talked to someone from Effingham, New Hampshire that religiously goes to selectmen's meetings, and Parsonsfield. And their selectmen won't hear anyone from the crowd unless they're on the agenda. So I just figured, told both of them, I said, it's really nice that our selectmen hear the public. They don't have to be on the agenda, you guys open it up, and they have the right to ask questions and ask for information. I just wanted you to know that some towns will not do that, and it's really, really nice that you guys do that and make time for that.
Absolutely.
I find the back and forth is helpful for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, Joe had a good point, you know, I went to when I was working, I went over to Chimbrow Corporation, they had a conference room over there. Their sign at the door said, "No one person is smarter than all of us together." And that's how true that is, when you stop and think about that and stuff, so when you put your heads all together,
Yeah.
it makes a difference.
It helps.
I've been to a couple meetings where I've wondered about that.